Hello there everyone, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing my first top 10 video. It's going to be the top 10 best action figures of 2025. The figures you're seeing right now are the honorable mentions. Figures from last year that I liked, but not enough to make on the list. The ground rules for this video are that it has to be figures that were released in 2025. I did get some figures that weren't released in 2025 and won't be featured on the list. This list is also my personal opinion, so this list is based on my enjoyment of the figures and not really going by objectivity. With that out of the way, let's get into the list. Kicking off our list at number 10, it's the Super 7 TMNT 2003 Michelangelo. This is a more recent figure I've gotten, which is why it's so low on the list, but this is a really good figure. Looks-wise, this guy looks like he jumped straight out of a 23-year-old cartoon. I bet you all feel old now, don't you? Super 7 captured the look so well, and his articulation is pretty good too. I believe they said this is the first time they've used double-jointed elbows and knees on their figures, but I could be wrong. Only notes I have is that said joints are a bit stiff. Not sure if that's just my copy or a widespread issue, but it's not the worst issue. It's manageable. Really good figure, which is why it's able to make it to number 10. Coming in at number 9, it's the Jakks Pacific Werehog Sonic figure. Now I know what you're thinking, a Jakks Pacific Sonic figure over a Super 7 figure? If you didn't think that, congratulations, you're saner than me. If you did, then let me explain. That Michelangelo was my first experience with Super 7 figures, whereas I'm more familiar with Jakks Pacific and their Sonic figures. Anyway, this Werehog figure is actually really good for a 4-inch Sonic figure. The sculpting details on his fur look amazing, and Jakks did a really good job at capturing how the Werehog looked. His articulation is also really good for a $15 figure, especially since they gave him the ankle movement that they gave the movie 3 figures. He's just a great looking figure and he's really fun to mess around with. That's why he's number 9. Up next at number 8 is the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Deadpool. Out of the 3 Maximum Series figures that have been released so far, I think the Deadpool might have the least amount of controversy surrounding him, but that's just me. This guy comes with so many accessories and some great articulation to get some really fun poses out of him. The only thing I think he's lacking in the accessory department is in the alternate heads, which I think is a problem for the Maximum line as a whole, but that's a conversation for later. Overall, a really fun Deadpool figure that made it to number 8. Number 7 on the list is the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Black Suit Spider-Man. Now, I know you're wondering why the figure with less articulation is higher on the list than a Maximum figure. Well, this is my list, so there's going to be some bias involved. And I love the Spider-Man 2 video game, so having the black suit in figure form from that game is really cool to me. Yes, I wish he came with butterfly joints and toe articulation, but I've still managed to get him into some pretty cool poses. The sculpt on this figure is nothing short of spectacular. Hasbro did a great job sculpting all the details that this suit had in the game. I've had a lot of fun messing around with this figure, so that's why he claimed 7th place. Coming in at number 6 are the Jakks Pacific Sonic XDC Flash Sonic Green Lantern Silver and Wonder Woman Amy figures. Okay, this might be cheating, putting 3 figures in one spot, but they're all part of the same line, so I'm just gonna group them all together. When I heard that Jakks Pacific was going to make figures based on the Sonic XDC crossover comic, I got really excited, and I think Jakks delivered. All these figures look great and captured the look of the costumes very well, and making them 5 inches with the movie articulation was a good choice, as these are very fun to pose around. However, they all did come a little loose out of the box, and Amy isn't accurate to how she looks in the comics because she doesn't have a cape. She also doesn't come with a hammer either, so I had to use the one from the 4-inch figure. Putting that aside, these are just great figures, and so they made the number 6 spot. Kicking off the top 5, we have Super Shadow from Sonic 3. Yes, this is a 2025 figure. It is just the Wave 1 Shadow figure painted yellow, but that's just how Super Shadow is designed, and it looks good, and I think that it's better than the regular Shadow figure. It's also a sign of improvement on Jack's part because they made Super Shadow the correct shade of yellow this time around, whereas with the modern version they made a few years ago, they did not. All in all, a great Super Shadow figure in the number 5 spot. At number 4, we have the Jada Toys Scooby-Doo Wave 1 Shaggy figure. This guy just barely made it onto the list because I actually got him on December 31st. But this figure is just so good. I loved watching Scooby-Doo as a kid, so to have a very articulated version of one of the main casts is so cool. Jada Toys captured Shaggy's design and body proportions perfectly, and he articulates so well. I love this figure, so that's why it made it to the number 4 spot. This is my first experience with a Jada Toys figure too, and I'm really impressed. I'm looking forward for Scooby and their figures. Starting off the top 3, we have the NECA TMNT 2012 Leonardo figure. This is my childhood made into collector figure form. I've been so excited for this figure since NECA announced they were making a 2012 line, and I think they did a really good job with this figure. Like the last figure, NECA captured the look of Leo perfectly, down to the last minute detail. The articulation is pretty good too for a NECA figure, and the accessories are all great, except for the fact that it doesn't come with a pupil-eyed head and all the other turtles do. Besides that, I love this figure so much, and that's why he's in the top 3. Our penultimate figure is the M.F.E.S Comic 2099 Spider-Man figure. This is probably the most underrated M.F.E.S Spidey figure that released in 2025 because M.F.E.S released their Tobey and Andrew figures in 2025 as well. So I think that took away most of the attention from this one, especially since I think this figure and the Tobey released at the same time. But anyway, this is a great figure, much like most of M.F.E.'s other Spidey figures. They captured the comic version of the 2099 suit really well. Articulation and accessories are great as usual. I really like how they made the comic version of Miguel because I honestly like the comic version of the suit a bit more than the movie version. Anyway, I think this figure is really great. It might have made the number 1 spot if it wasn't for the next figure on the list. And coming in at number 1 is the Marvel Legends Gamerverse Venom figure. I love this figure. It's such an incredibly well done piece. The detail on this guy is so good, and its simple design lends well to that. He's so big too, which is honestly something I wasn't expecting, but I think is really cool. And the articulation is so good, especially for a figure this size. You wouldn't expect a figure this big to hit some of the poses you are seeing, and the fact that you can is awesome. He doesn't come with many accessories, but he comes with enough that a Venom figure really needs. I love this figure so much, and that's why he's at the number 1 spot, and what I personally feel is the best figure of 2025. And there you have it, my top 10 figures of 2025. Thank you all so much for watching. What figures made it to your top 10 list? Feel free to leave it in the comments below. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Until next time.